all these possibilities. I feel it deep inside me. You're everything and more to me. This rapture has my body. You're beating my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. You're beating my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Whisper in my ear, then I'll take you down to my crystal waterfall. Now you're standing tall. I feel it deep inside me. You're everything and more to me. This rapture has my body. You're beating my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. You're beating my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. This rapture, that's my body. You're beating my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. You're beating my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on the finale of the week, Friday.
Happy Friday.
Smile and gratefulness is today's agenda.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Mr. Positivity.
No, not positivity, but I know positivity, nah.
Positively?
Yes, that word.
Positively?
That you just have to suck it up, buttercup, and keep going. Look, the thing came back.
We got a duck on top of the camera. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, everyone. What a week it has been. It is so beautiful outside here today. The weather is spectacular. And I think I might even see sunlight when I leave here today, as opposed to the
You have
rest
to
of the
open
week.
up a bag of Sunlight chips, and voila! ex soto, he'll tell you. Mayo will tell you.
You know, I walked outside to go next door this morning. I thought, wow.
It was freaking loud.
It is, no, not that, but it was
Man,
beautiful outside.
Beautiful. And we have our special guest in studio,
Joshua Martin is in studio.
Candy Girl.
We should do a candy corn, fill a jar, and guess how many.
How many fit?
And then whoever gets the closest, we'll give out a prize
We
too.
did that with cheese balls one year. It was
Yes.
286 of them. And
Yeah.
you won a card, but nobody got it.
That's the thing. How are we going to know how much is in there?
You have to count them.
One of us has to
Who?
count them.
Slick did it. He counted. It was 286 of them.
He's going to count every single
He
one.
counted every single
Oh,
one.
God.
She could do it.
You're going to count every single one without eating them?
But then she can't play the game.
Oh, that's true, too.
Why?
Because
she
she'll
can't
know
know
how
how
much
many
is
are in there.
Yeah,
It's
she'll
like
know.
we
Movie
do it.
Wars.
No, we do it on the air. We do it on the
Oh,
air.
everyone, we put them in, everyone puts a guess, and we'll count them afterwards.
We got to buy enough bags to fill up a big container, and then you figure out how many of those candy corns are in there.
Ah.
So we'll count them afterwards. All right, good idea. Candy corn, do you think is the idea to do it?
There's going to be a lot of them, so if you like them. You remember that song, Who Can Make the Rain Stop?
Sammy
The
Davis
Candy-
Jr.?
Candy
Stop
Man?
the Rain.
Every time I see her now, that's the song I hear.
Who, Katie?
Yeah.
She's the candy girl.
She's the Candy Man.
She's got
Who
the
can
whole
make
Phoebe
the-
look with her hair.
That's my goal. I was telling Dawn this morning. There's an episode of Friends when they do a what if I didn't get married to this person or I wasn't whatever. So it goes back and Phoebe has short hair
You got to open
and
a
she's
Batusha.
working like really hard, like 24/7. She's on the phone like 24/7, and she's she has that like business girl look with like the short hair.
Give us the deuce.
Every time you say Phoebe, I think of Smelly Cat.
Smelly cat.
You know, I was watching something, and
baby.
Matthew Perry, I guess, had huge addiction issues. And they said you could tell by his season of his weight gain and his weight loss. If he was on an alcohol binge, he would gain 30, 40, 50 pounds. If he was taking pills, he would lose the same 50 pounds.
What was it? Addiction of food?
Alcohol, drugs.
Yeah.
So he gained weight every time he had that?
No, because he would just keep constantly drinking or something.
Right.
And smoking, too. But that wasn't even in the show, that he was addicted to cigarettes and all that. But I think he was addicted to it in real life, too.
Who is this guy?
The Chandler.
Matthew
Friends?
Perry from Friends.
Chandler.
He said he was in and out
wasn't
of
that
rehab
heavy.
like 20 plus times.
He wasn't heavy.
And some
At
seasons
the end
he
of
was.
at the end of the show, like the later seasons, you
Yeah.
can see that he put on a little
Quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
You know, the entertainment business is glamorous until it's not.
That's what's wrong with me. I gained weight because of the glamorousness.
That's what they all say. They go, look at Freddie. He's the star, eating those burgers, drinking that beer, having that fine wine.
First of all, I didn't have no beer. Second of all, you had a burger. She had a burger. Everybody had a burger.
Yes, we did.
So don't say that because everybody's going to think
No,
that
I'm
Freddie ate
teasing
the
you.
burger.
You didn't hear Tracy Latome's connections. Her intro is have the wine, eat the food, and then there's a third thing. So it was her intro I was repeating to you.
There you go.
Have some fun.
So anyway, we are actually going to do something a little bit different today because it's been a long week. We're going to play the best of certain segments that we had. And I think we're going to kick off with what happened last night.
Night Train, best of.
Yes, Night Train's show last night was really super cool. And they let me know when they're going to cue it up. So you're going to be able to see some of Night Train, on the show if you didn't see it last night.
Telling us to hold out just a
they're telling me
moment.
to hold on, which is fine.
Katie, we can't count those candies because you're eating them. We've got Sally Bernard here and Lynn Everard. They've been in there, I don't know how many days a week they meet. Every day?
They come out with another book every time they come out of there.
Just on Fridays?
Just Friday. It seems like it's a lot of days.
Are you getting a lot accomplished?
I'm exhausted. I feel like I've been up day and night talking about this. Yes, we are. Yeah.
It's funny, based on what Sally told you last night, I'm listening to your conversations today, and I'm like, yep, she was pretty much accurate.
Yeah, but why sweat the small stuff? That's nothing. Listen, let me tell you something. You either in or you out. And if you think that having me on the outside is going to make you in, good luck with that. I wish you the best of luck. I'm done with it. I'm done. I'm going to move on. Bigger and better things are waiting.
Amen to that.
So
A
whatever.
question for you. Sally has all these amazing art pieces. Do we have a company that can print them? So like her artwork there, it's, a full coverage of it,
Yes.
clothing.
Yes, we
We
can
have
do
someone
that.
that can do that?
Yes.
All right.
Great, beautiful. We'll discuss it afterwards. That's good.
And I think we're going to be working, our team is going to be working on creating her new website also.
Yeah,
Correct. When
Which
she
will be
gets
nice.
back.
yeah. we're
When she
going
gets
on
back from traveling again?
a cruise, and another cruise when I get married.
What's it feel like to be engaged and in love again and
Really?
getting married?
Strange.
Is it?
No, he's listening, Steve, I'm sure. No, it's very exciting. It's an exciting time of my life that I never, ever thought that I was going to experience at this age, but it's good.
How long has it been since you were married?
Oh, my goodness me. About 14 years, at least, yes. Yeah, it seems like it's a long time. I never thought I was going to get married again, and December 18th, I'll be married again.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you never saw it coming.
No, I didn't. Well, it's hard for myself to give me messages. I can give everybody in this room a message, but it comes to me, maybe I don't want to hear them. I don't know. I do get a certain amount, yeah. But I never knew I was going to get married, no.
Isn't that interesting? You don't give yourself messages. Do you ever hear Sarah give herself messages?
Do I hear Sarah give herself messages?
You know, when she's doing her show, you're talking about psychics. Do you hear your own messages?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Yes.
it does lead, I should actually correct that slightly, because it does, as you was going to say, it does lead into something that I should be doing. But I have to have the question, then I can answer the question. Sorry, I kind of interrupted you, Freddie. I didn't mean
No,
to
it's
do
fine.
that.
I mean, people talk and you listen, and the voices are always, and messages are always there. And
Yeah.
there are things that you can pick up on, use them to your advantage or disadvantage, depending on who you are and the way you see things. I've seen people talk themselves out of a deal. I've seen people talk themselves out of happiness and get depressed. I've seen people think that the war is coming to an end on a very simple subject matter, and it isn't. It depends on how you view things, how heavily you view things. Being upset in a conversation turns into an argument, right? How does it go from a discussion to an argument?
Well, I'm going through my own personal therapy with Lynn right now because I'm writing a book. So we're going way back, aren't we, Lynn, into my childhood and how everything happened to me as a child and here on in, which I really hadn't gone in depth to really talk about it. But we're bringing it out. He's bringing it out and answering the questions.
That's interesting you brought that up because as a publisher, Lynn, I would have never thought, dawned on me, no pun intended, that you become almost a therapist because you're hearing these stories and people's innermost thoughts. You can't hold judgment. You have to be the type of publicist or editor that it just flows through you. You give your guidance, you write, and you move on. Otherwise, it could bog you down.
Yeah, every client relationship is different. And it really depends upon what does the client want and what do they need, and are those two things the same? And then we figure out how we're going to go about the process. And again, it's different for everyone. So the goal is to get their story out, but it's also to bring out the energy of the story.
So are you writing during these meetings or are you just talking?
So I'm essentially interviewing Sally because she responds very well to questions. But if I just said, okay, Sally, start talking, that would be a different situation. So because she told me it would be easier for her if I asked her questions, so then I ask her questions. And then I use my phone to record the conversations, and then I have a transcription software on my computer. So I upload the audio file, and it produces a text file, which then I can save in Microsoft Word.
Wow.
And then I can go through the edit process.
It's interesting, right? I guess this way anyone could really write a book. You just talk about your story, you give it Lynn and uploads it, and then they edit it instead of talking and then go, oh, wait, now I need to write that down.
Now my
Technology has
story
changed
is
it.
an open book.
Totally,
Well,
100%.
and it helps me too, because when I'm not trying to scribble and take notes, because that takes me out of the rhythm of everything, and then I can't be as focused on staying present with the conversation. So it makes it so much easier I know all of it's getting captured, and then I can stay in the rhythm of the conversation and listen for the cues that tell me the next question to ask.
And he's really, really good. I will say that because you're getting an awful lot of information from me, right? Because I have no idea, as on my show, what I'm going to answer, but it's accurate. And he has an amazing way of bringing it out.
So you could actually do your book that way as well.
Yeah, but it all depends. I've heard some of the conversations they had. I don't know where I want to have, I don't know where I want to start my conversations. You know, I was going to ask Sally, growing up today is not growing up like it was back in the day. Even you. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Values have changed. The approaches have changed. And I look at the producers, the way they're so young and they're growing up and they're doing their things. I never had these opportunities like they have today. I wish I had. I was creating opportunities so that I can learn more and more about what I wanted to do. But things have changed. So it sort of confuses me because I've had so many different lives, and so many different stories. And every time I hear somebody else, another story comes forward. And I'm not making them up. I'm not that good that I can make up so many different things that I've done. But that's probably why I've never done it. Maybe I need clarity of the brain.
Different chapters, maybe.
But what would I talk about?
Ask Lynn, I don't know.
Lynn will be able to do that because some of the things that are coming, I don't remember. But as soon as he asks me a question, oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
we've got a back. I said, no, it's a nice
get
song. That's okay. But he is very, very good at bringing out some of the things that I really didn't even remember until I start talking to him. Obviously, we're not going to use everything in the book, but the overall picture is there of the parts that will be very interesting.
But
for
you're
people
talking
to-
about your past life?
No, this is this life, how I was able to do what I'm doing today, because I think it's probably relevant to the book. We will talk about past lives in there, but it's not all past lives.
So it's about how you got to where you are now.
Exactly, from even as
That's
a child, which I never even realized until I start talking about it. And then I'm saying, oh, that's why that happened. Things that I really didn't even think I remembered. But he's able to do that with me
So
too.
it's an autobiography.
Yes, also explaining the experiences that I have gone through and how that's come about in this lifetime, which I believe some of it happened in other lifetimes that I brought into this life. But it's interesting for me, and the book is about my story, which probably I might not have even come out with over this time, but I am. So it's going to be interesting reading when it comes out.
It's going to be fantastic.
You ever thought about writing a book?
I don't have a memory like you do and Sally does to like think back to all these things. And then I think I would say something that would offend people.
And again, writing a book is writing a book. Forget about offending people. You can change the name to protect the innocent.
What am I going to change? My sister's name?
But you
My
just,
parents did this in my childhood. This is
Okay.
what happened in my house. And
you don't
but what?
say that. You say, oh, yes, maybe I can. And you say that mom and dad were another character and your sister was another character.
I'm not that creative, I don't think.
But Dawn, the
yeah.
good thing about this is he doesn't have to put everything in the book because we'll run. I'm saying things and even on tape. I'm saying to him, I don't think we should put that in the book, but it will bring back certain memories. So you can. I think you should write. Well, it's not up to me, but I want to tell you, I think you should
My
write
mother
a
over
book.
there thinks I should write a book.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
do. But that's just my personal opinion. Okay.
I guess everyone has a book inside of them at some point.
Josh, you have
I
a book
think
inside
everyone
you?
does. The reason that I record things and then ask so many questions is because we don't always know where it's going to go, but there may be a nugget that we get to, 5 conversations down from where we are now. It doesn't mean we're going to keep the 4 conversations that led to it. But that 5th conversation that gets to that really, really important, powerful nugget of something that changed a person's life or shifted their way of thinking, that becomes really important in the book because everyone who's going to read your book is looking for something, whether they know it or not, even in a fiction book, they're looking for something that will either change their life or add something to it. And so if you don't go into the depth, you're not likely to find it. Most of the gold is in gold mines underground, not on the surface. So to get to the gold, you have to dig.
Very interesting. So let's see what you can create. I'm looking forward to seeing Sally's book, her next book.
I'm learning a lot about myself.
Are you?
Really, it's like a therapy session, but it's good to know these things. You know.
Is there any one thing that stands out that you've learned about yourself that you say, wow, this is like my aha?
Well, I think the process of me, I'm going to call it beginning to wake up to what this is all about. I don't expect people to completely understand it. It's taking me a while to completely understand it, but it's helping me understand how I got to where I am today. I can see it from my point of view, but to actually express it to Lynn when he asks these questions, it's more real to me. I'm seeing what I have been able to touch. I mean, I'm going to say I'm not special. I believe that we all can do this, but we don't always take time out to do it. I was stubborn, and I've had so much validation that I now feel the need to explain this to people.
One of the things that came out of today was in following her story along, that I actually shared this with her. I said, you know, you have carried your why of challenge through your entire life. And it was interesting because then I started showing her where she challenged this and challenged that, and actually had to challenge things in order to get to where she is today.
Yeah,
I think that's probably true. I bet your why is the same thing. Mine, I'm sure, is the same as well.
Well, I know I definitely have the same as you, Freddie, in the why. I haven't read mine yet, and I know Dawn is in the second part of it, right? Did you say?
Yeah, well, you three share.
Okay.
Challenge.
We're all
Yeah,
similar.
some things, yeah.
Yeah, we all have to have heavily medicated. You know, the object of everything in life, the way I look at it is everybody has a story for you to learn from. So, you know, I asked Josh, will he write a book? And he looks at me and says, are you kidding me? It's the same kid that I asked him if he wanted to sell his little giraffe painting. It's the same kid that I asked him if he wanted to play with a band. So I keep asking him things that people are asking me of him, which is the amazing thing. And he keeps saying, no, I don't do that, but he does. He just doesn't realize it yet, that just how good he is in certain things that he does. And that's why I look at books and I look at what people write, and I get mesmerized on how creative they are, how clever a book is. You ever seen a movie that's turned into a book and they tell you the book is always better? Because the book is being more clever than the movie. The movie is being more visual. But in order to read something that captures you to keep back and read, I mean, you read a lot. What makes you read?
You got to find time to read. But when I used to read a lot, and I always liked the book more than the movie, because in my mind it was one way, and the movie could have been a totally different way. And I'm like, nope, I kind of like my way better. Certain scenes, or you like the other way, but I like the books that makes you
Imagination.
think a little bit more in your imagination. Absolutely true.
And me, I like the movies better than the books.
But you know what really surprised me last night is when I asked Gina, hypothetically, have you ever thought of writing a book? I thought she was going to tell me no. And she says, yes. As a matter of fact, I've got 3 in my head that I need to write. And I went, wow. I was standing there, and Lynn was here, and I actually took Lynn away from his conversation to talk to Gina, because I felt like she needs that outlet right now. She needs a place to express all the things that are going on in her mind, and I thought that was perfect timing.
And I continued the rest of the conversation. I did not know that, but we were talking. We were both sitting over there. And I said to her, you know what? Talk to Lynn, because I think you have a book. And that was coming to me very loud and clear. I think she definitely does.
I think you have a book. Josh, you ready to write your book?
Katie is.
Katie, you gonna write a book?
She's done with this paper.
You gonna write a book?
Turn it on.
A while ago, I started like writing just like things down, just on my iPad, like 2 or 3 pages, so nothing like crazy, but it's just there for when I like come back to it. It's like a, I don't know.
Journal / poem book.
Okay, so now we get to the next level. You see, you tell me you don't write, but you do. So why do you deny? I never had a journal in my life. I bought the book, I lost the book. I found it 3 years later. Never ever wrote a word. Never had a journal. You have a journal? Never had a
It was
journal.
always evidence if someone were to find it.
That's why I don't have it, because people are gonna find. Everybody wants to read my stuff. You know, you're right. I should write a book.
Well, just keep it somewhere hidden
The book.
so that only you can
Get a
see.
cute little lock and you can lock it all
Get a
up.
little locket.
We're locking down so we can get you for Christmas.
I
It's
have
a
to
journal
bury it
with a
somewhere.
lock.
No, no, I don't want that. I feel like that's a invasion of privacy. But when you write a book, you're actually putting something out there. Maybe I'm
mean-
better off not writing about me.
It doesn't mean you have to put it out right
you.
away. Like, you can just, like, right now, I wrote some, like, stuff down that obviously, like, is not ready to, I don't plan on having it published. But right now, I just have things written
So what
down.
do? You write your thoughts down?
No, it's more of just, like about my life, I guess.
Oh, Josh, you're all over
Just
the
if
place.
I, like,
That book
decide
is
I
all
want to
about
do
you,
something
that
with
journal?
it, it's just there. So it's, there's
It's
no,
writing
like,
about you.
What?
no.
No, but what you can do is like a duality of man kind of thing. Talk about how there's so many different people in the world from all the people that you met, and just that.
Talk
not-
about the duality of man.
Yeah, not
it's
everyone's
a good thing
the
you don't
same.
write.
I don't. I've been in so many like intensive reading courses and like learning. And my grammar has always been bad. I don't want to put my stuff out there for people to see because my writing's terrible.
That's why you use Grammarly.
That's
no,
why you
it's
have
not
Lynn.
that. It's just
Lynn, you work with grammar also?
Yeah, well, that's part of the process. I've actually had some people ask me if I'd consider teaching a course on how to write a book, right? Where you would go into things. So, proofreading is spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Editing is more content based. But every book needs to go through both in order to have a really good finished product.
Do you put in the educated words, or do I continue my
It
uneducated
would have to represent
vocabulary?
you in your verbiage, like Sally's would be her verbiage.
No, because you use dollar words. You use very complicated words.
But but
I don't even know what they mean.
verbiage. That's why your words would be your book. My words would be my book.
Yeah, it's you write in your language and how you do things. I don't I write in my language, but if you were doing your book, you would write it in your language. So
see,
that
that's
way,
better.
because you're the first person that needs to understand what's in your book. And ultimately, we're all writing our books for ourselves. And then there's a spillover effect for other people. But if you don't write the book for yourself, then you're really missing a huge opportunity, because the book itself is an opportunity for you to grow and transform in your own life. And then you can share an aspect of that experience with the reader.
You know, there was a doctor that I met in Puerto Rico from the Dominican Republic, and he came up with a machine that did something to the lungs. So people that were dying of COPD or whatever the lungs, the disease was, it would save your life. So he gets up on stage and he talks about how bad this machine is. This machine is too expensive, it's experimental, and he went on and on for 15 minutes, and everybody's like, he's supposed to be the guest speaker, right? And he ends the speech, this whole thing, with, all this machine does is save your life. And there's nothing like it on the planet. And everybody went, but he did it to catch people's attention. And man, did it work. Everybody ran up to invest in this thing because they were like, wow, that was amazing. So they did a switch. You see, that's what I find clever about books. And I get frustrated because if I don't have the clever, I don't do it.
But you are very clever.
I'm not clever. Common sense is not clever. Common sense is free.
Positivity.
How do you turn on a microwave? With a finger. Which button do you hit? Then it gets complicated.
That is absolutely true.
I see people hit a button, popcorn comes out of it. I see another people hit a button, and then you get a ham and cheese sandwich out of it. You know what I'm saying? It gets complicated when you add your brain to it. The machine is simple. This is my son on steroids. Dad, You hit this button. Yes, son, I know that, but I want to make popcorn. You know, it has a popcorn button somewhere in there. Nobody's ever taught me where it is.
The one that says popcorn.
It doesn't say popcorn. It says P, but thank you very much for playing.
And what says popcorn?
It
don't
could
know
be
which
pickles.
one-
It could be anything. I don't know. I got to look for it. And
I don't know which one you have.
People
but
always bring me popcorn because they know that if I learn how to do it, I can't make fun of it. So they keep me guessing. It's like in
You
here.
live in a very strange place
I live in a strange place.
with the P button. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. More to come. 888-994-4995. Studio A, see what best stuff we've got coming up on the other side of this break. And we will be right back.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you. Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I'm going to do the music for you. You know your Matador music?
First of all, we don't talk about that anymore because it looks like the Mets aren't going to sign him, so we don't have to. That goes with him.
So we had a great show last night. We had Cafe Night Train, and we had some very special guests. We had host Cece Clevenger, and there is Cece says, happy Friday to you as well, Cece. Looking forward to you and Freddie starting this next journey together. And we're going to play a little special clip of Cece kicking off Cafe Night Train, as well as JT, John Tutino, and the amazing saxophone playing that he does. He has a quartet. He's playing up in Wellington on November 12th, Saturday night at the Village Pub. He's going to send us all the information. He says it's a very small wine, jazzy place. If you like jazz, you're going to get a full night of just intimate jazz, what it all feels like back in the club. So we'll get that information. It is on November 12th out in Wellington.
Just hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses. Joey was in today.
Joe came by and dropped off the coffee news. Get your coffee news groove on. We're going to save the horoscopes for Monday's morning show.
Okay.
But give him a holler. What's the phone number? I can't see
You
that.
want to spotlight your business at 954-951-7870. Tell Joey that Brooklyn Cafe Show sent you over. We've got a lot of people in here to call. All right, you ready to see our best of last night? Let's see what Cece and JT brought to the studio last night.
Let's see what they got.
Enjoy.
Hey everybody, it's it's Triple C. Welcome to the Cafe Night Train, presented to you by Oldies 95.3 and 96.9. We got a special guest tonight, JT, the saxophone man.
I picked up the sax in my 20s, and so I'm a good example of not worrying about your age if you want to do anything, whether it's music, art, whatever.
Man, JT, thank you so much for coming on the Brooklyn Cafe Show, my friend. Make sure
Thank you for watching, and see you next week.
Very nice job.
It was a nice job last night. It was a smooth transition. Everything worked out really well. CC was fantastic. The music was fantastic. And he did a couple of songs of his as well. Which
Absolutely.
is the new norm that we're trying to develop as we go along.
But it's a nice show. It's a lot of things to bring forward.
A lot of pieces, a lot of moving pieces in there. And Garcia did a nice job. Josh did a nice job. I think Mayola was on sound, and Bree was on the, but everybody had a hand in yesterday because we had runners and floor and timing and radio station involved. It was pretty good.
It's funny. And during commercial break just now, I was talking to Lynn about my book, and I go, I think I'll do a children's book. It's kind of what I always wanted to do.
A children's book.
And have Chelsea illustrate it.
A children's book.
Yes.
Is it going to be one of those health books where they eat?
No. No, it's got to have an empowering message, because I truly believe in my heart that if we can get to kids at a young age about empowering themselves and believing in themselves, and everyone's different, and embracing your uniqueness and your differences instead of waiting till you're later in life to know who you are, then I think everyone would be better.
Like an anti-bully book?
Anti-bully, stressing, believing in yourself, being who you are, embracing your
I got the perfect
differences.
anti-bully book for you.
Yeah?
Yes, it's called Trust the Cabbage Head. And she's going to be Superwoman with a carrot body, and she's coming back.
When Chelsea was little, there was a book called Stripes, and it was about a little girl who was all different colors. Her skin was striped, and all the people that bullied her and all the things that she did. And at the end of the book, it was just about believing in who she was. Didn't matter what color stripe she was, what she wore, what it was. It's
Rainbow
just
children.
embrace your differences.
Rainbow children.
Because we all are, right?
Yeah, I mean, if
We're
you
all unique. We all have our special abilities and
don't emphasize anything you
weaknesses.
do on color, because
But no, it wasn't that. It was just about how people always look at themselves differently.
we all bleed red.
Or that.
My
See,
gra-
same conversation, different take. I'm going on this more esoteric, believe in yourself, and you're back to blood and gore.
Because it's true, we all bleed red. Everybody says they're different this and different that, and different color and different this and different. We all bleed red. We are just built differently.
We're just people.
Some of us are, yeah. Not all. Not all.
Percy,
of
ever
us.
think of writing a book? This one comes up with new stuff all the time.
I think he has a book.
I
You wanna
can't
write a
believe
book?
your age. To me,
What
you're
number
much
you
older
on?
than you are.
How old are you, Garcia?
We're not allowed to ask that. But I feel
How
like
old
you're
do you
much
think
more
you are,
mature than you
Garcia?
are.
Old? I don't know. Probably maybe 25, maybe, in my eyes.
Okay.
But I'm not sure because I think in the later part of my life I was sped up because like my dad is always go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that. And so it's like, especially now, it's a lot more. I'm running around everywhere. It's like sometimes it feels like you're kind of getting overwhelmed because I have to go do this, I have to go do that. And so I like coming here because it's a nice.
Yeah, but you like
nice area.
the control chaos. You like running around. You like doing different things and changing angles.
yeah.
And I see you putting lights in. You don't only put the lights up. You put paintings in
I think
front
we
of
got
it
a
to
second
carry the
angle
light.
here too that I haven't even. I don't even know if we're using
Well, I'm
it.
just saying that you seem to like that whole drive. And I think your dad understands how much you like to do it, and he keeps you motivated.
I think it's partly that, but it's also because I think he kind of made me that way. Because as a kid, it's always go, go, go. And if you don't, like, it's a bad thing.
Do you think
So-
culturally, different cultures are different?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know my dad, they're a lot more drawn into their culture because they came here from Guatemala. And so their culture is really strong, especially on my dad's side. And I know that for other people that I've known and that I've talked to, it's the same. That culture is really strong. And so part of the culture is why I'm like this, because part of his culture is always doing things super quickly. And I know his dad made him do that, and he's kind of been a little easier on me than his dad was on him. But I think that has to do with it. So
Different work ethics, I think people have, different cultures.
yeah.
My father was like that. He used to say, hurry up and wait. And everything was about getting things done. And then he would come in and inspect. And he says, you got to do it all over again. And that's tough. So you learn to do it right. Urgency in this business is a necessity because you have to be on time. You got to be early because early you're late, right? When you set up boards, when you set up sets and everything else. But what I like about him is that his creative mind, if you watch him, he's moving things
He's
around.
quiet, but you're
He's
doing it in his
looking,
mind at
he's
different
looking.
angles. Yep.
And it makes other people that you're working with better. You know, that whole flow yesterday was really remarkable. And I've been doing this a real long time. And I tell myself, that voice that Sally's always telling me, just be patient, it will come. It will come. But in this business, you want to try to get it right, as close to right as you can all the time.
I think, yeah, different cultures, different things are different. Anyway, I'm thinking of Lynn right now in your childhood. Your relationship with your dad was a whole lot different than his relationship with his father. But you've got a very strong work ethic, and you help bring people forward. So you went the opposite way of your upbringing.
Yeah, well, we always have choice, right? As to how we're going to take what we started with and whether we're going to do something with it or not.
Lynn, do you believe that people understand they have choice, or until you point it out, they don't see it?
For me, I learned it somewhere along the way. I don't know that I learned it all that early. I think I probably was like most people, I was just doing what I was doing until I discovered that I was, I think we all believe that we're just somehow carried along by the waves and that we don't have any say in what happens in our lives. And then little by little, we start to understand that, well, maybe I do have a little influence. And then we say, well, then maybe I have a little more influence. And then we get to a point where we say, wow, you know what? I'm really in charge of this whole thing. And if we don't get to the point where we say we're really in charge of the whole thing, it makes it so easy for us to be a victim and stay a victim. Because you cannot create your own life from a place of being a victim. You can only create it from a place of knowing that you get to choose, that you have the ability to choose. It might not all work out exactly the way you wanted it to, but it's a whole lot better feeling than just feeling stuck in somebody else's story.
People taking credit for, oh, I made him. It's because of me that he is the way he is, or she is the way she is, because I brought them here. To me, that's even being a victim, because someone else is taking the power for your choices, if you even made them. But I think that's important, is realizing you have your choices to make. And once you take that choice and you step into your own power and say, this is my life to choose, it changes everything. And I hope that, I know their generation learned it a whole lot sooner than my generation as women did. Because we didn't feel like we made our choice of who we were going to marry. And that was pretty much the choices we made. And now things are opening up. Their generation makes their choice on careers, if they even want to get married, what even their sexual orientation is. All of these choices, there are a million choices out there.
I think there's too many choices, to be honest with you.
Which is why I can't even open a menu. But
well, it's not even that, but if you look around, life is going to take away, it's going to give you more choices and more choices and more choices. And I think that the human mind, with so many choices,
it gets overwhelming.
It gets overwhelming. And all of a sudden, you start making more and more mistakes because you're picking things that, well, out of curiosity, or you're picking things not because you want them or you desire them or you want to achieve them, but because you say, what the hell, let me try this, let me try this.
But it's funny, I think back to when Lynn did my why, and he said, when you go to a restaurant, it's overwhelming. It is so overwhelming for me, and the bigger the menu, I look in sections. I start at the appetizer. If there's something there, I'm done. If there's not, then I'll move to the salad. Other than that, I will never get to the entrees. Because at that point, my mind is just blown. I know I'm not going to eat the amount of food, so just order something for me and it'll be fine.
Start backwards. Go to entree and work
But he
your way
knows
back.
that in my why. That was the crazy thing. Not that how I should read the menu, but just that all of these choices become overwhelming. It's why Amazon is overwhelming to me, buying things online. But I guess that goes into my why, and I don't know why. It's there.
No, guys ain't like that.
But that's part of my personality, right?
Yeah, it's a, when you look back at it, you realize you've been operating that way your whole life.
My whole life.
But you don't. Most people don't realize it until they get the language of the why discovery, to where they can now say, oh, that's me. But I never had the words to tell anybody that that's who I am. I didn't even have the words to tell myself that's who I am. And once you know that, it makes life so much easier because you start to understand you. And once you start to understand you, then it's easier to start to understand other people by then discovering what their why is.
Does it change you at that point? And I was thinking, I wanted to ask you that, because talking about restaurants, I can't even ever pick a restaurant out. There are so many. I say to Steve, I can't make this decision.
You and me had the same why, and
We had the same why.
and you can't pick a restaurant.
You
what?
can?
Me?
Yes.
I can, but I like to let other people have the
If
opportunity.
money wasn't an issue and you could just go anywhere you want.
I'd be in New York having dinner.
Oh, okay. But I can't, I mean, I might come up with suggestions, but I can't make that end decision of saying, yes, let's go there. I've been like that with everything. But does the why change you? Will I be, now that I'm aware, much more aware of it, will I be able to change? Because I'd like to make the decision.
Well,
I'd be able to change.
it affects all of us differently, and it's not the only factor.
B-mix. We need 5 and
Because
6.
there's, we still have the environment we grew up in. We still have other aspects of our personality. So there are a number of factors that actually play in there. And but in general, you have the same why your whole life. And so for you, though, maybe what you're doing is you're feeling the challenge of it, as opposed to what Dawn is doing, which is she can't decide, because the minute she decides, she's wondering if she didn't make the best choice. Maybe there was a better choice that she could have made, right? But for you, with the why of challenge, it's almost like you're challenging yourself. Is this the best thing for me?
But when you get two people like with the same why or the challenge, I haven't got to my challenge yet, and they can't make they're aware that they can't make that decision. Well, I mean, you can, but you feel awkward sometimes about it. Does that change by talking to someone?
Well,
with the
it
same-
changes because, again, so the why itself doesn't change, but how we work with it does.
Okay.
And just understanding what it is. So every why has these very positive things about it, and then it has its own challenges, and then we seek to understand the solution to the challenge.
Okay.
And then that helps us to be able to work through it. So sometimes for a while, for a why of challenge, people don't understand you. You know, like for Freddie, like people wouldn't necessarily understand him. But at a certain moment,
You gotta be mixed.
he would, if he shares with people about what his why is and that it's challenged and what that means, they'll understand him. And they'll say, oh, that's how he operates. That's how he's doing things.
Well, you know, it's really simple, Sally. What you do is you get yourself, before you go to dinner, what do you want? You want steak, chicken, whatever.
Okay.
Once you do that, before you even go, it makes life easier. Because now you're going to have seafood. You're going to go to the seafood, then you're going to sit there and you're going to pinpoint what you want.
I can actually relate to that a little bit now that I'm aware of it, because Steve, I know you're listening, but he likes to go to restaurants and eat, and he'll look at the menu before we go into the restaurant. So I guess that is actually helping me, because I like seafood. If I continue to eat the way we go out, I have to stick to something like seafood. So I am kind of making a decision in my head, because now I'm aware of it, I can see what I'm doing. But let's say that we went out for dinner and you are indecisive about the appetizer, and I can't get past that because I need to get to the entree. I think, would it be a good way to work it out? I'm going to pick your appetizer and
We
you
could
pick
share.
my entree.
We'll
Would
share.
that work?
If you agree to it,
I know, because
Okay.
you don't share.
We'll share. I'll get your thoughts on my entree, and you can have my thoughts, because I'm not actually ordering it, on your appetizer. That sounds like a good deal.
And actually, speaking of sharing, we actually have Josh and Katie joining us
Where
somewhere
are
on
they?
the road. I don't know where they are, but let's see
Let's
if we
bring
can
them
bring
over.
them over
Where's
and see where
Josh and
they are.
Katie? Texas and Josh, wherever they be. Oh my God. What happened to your hair?
It kind of grew out a little bit.
I like it a lot.
This the hair I need for the white
Okay,
Cornelius.
so there's options.
They're doing our shopping.
Should we get you this? What about this one? I think we should get this one for Freddie.
I agree. Get me that.
All right, so we'll get you that one. Or here's a better option.
You like the white one?
No, the white one. Not that. That's my head.
They got a lot of stuff
Or
there.
wait, here's a Moses one.
You can be Moses.
Wow, that's
But
a
it's
lot of
gray,
hair.
not white.
That looks really itchy. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's go with the Moses look.
You want to do Moses?
Yeah, because I want to wear
Which one?
the
Oh,
The Moses one?
yeah, because where'd he go? Bring him back. Yeah,
Where's
let's
the
do the
two-shot? Oh, there
let's
we
do the
go.
Moses, because I'm gonna wear the king thing, the cape, and
You want to be a king with your beard?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
that's what I was gonna be.
There we go.
They have capes too.
All right.
Do they got capes?
Do we keep freezing? There.
What is that?
That's kind of like the Albert Einstein one. I kind of like that one. It's got a mustache too.
That's your Albert Einstein one.
Want the Albert Einstein look? You
All
want
right.
Moses?
How much for capes?
What am I wearing? If I'm wearing the red thing, wouldn't Moses be a better idea?
Whatever you want.
But the Albert Einstein, no, yeah, bring me Moses.
I don't know. When Moses was crossing the sea, you think
Moses?
he had cape and a red velvet cape on? I do not know.
I think it'll be kind of cool. Look at Josh with her
For
afro.
Baxton?
So this was the perfect thing, security. This was the perfect
Ah,
example,
yes,
Lynn,
Josh.
of my
Yes.
personality. I told him this morning we could all go Halloween shopping. But then we had a show, and you guys came in, and then we had this show, and then we got a 3 o'clock show, and they all said, but you said we could go.
Did they have the security
but we
vest?
Can't go. You guys got to go. I had to find a better way, so they went. And they're going to do our shopping for us.
Did they got the security vest?
Oh, right now.
Back, a yellow, an orange one.
It says security?
No.
Braxton wants a security
I
vest.
got a road hazard vest.
Oh.
Braxton wants to be the cop on Thursday night.
Where are you guys? At Spirit Halloween?
Hey.
I can't believe how many
Long bro.
costumes they still have. That's pretty cool.
Can they see it?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
see it. What is that? What was that?
No, Willy
Police
Wonka
officer.
glasses.
Police officer
The cop. I was a sheriff.
for Baxton.
Braxton the sheriff.
Well, tell Baxton to go get a security guard outfit.
We got there's handcuffs here. There's a belt here.
What does she keep flapping? What is
Glasses. You know, she looks cute in everything she puts on, so it's all I can tell you.
Thanks, Don.
that? What is that? A badge? Oh,
A
God.
police badge.
No, because if you give him that, he'll think he's a real cop, and then he'll go pull people over.
What? What's wrong with that?
Well, see if we can get Freddie the
Oh,
luchador.
he already has the
green.
aviators.
Get this
Oh.
Luchador. He's
Get that for
luchador.
Baxton.
You're the Fedorian.
See if they
A
have any
taser?
green gloves. What the hell is
A
that?
taser.
Wait,
It's a fake taser.
this for Baxton.
For Braxton.
Security job.
No, because he'll end up
Security guard.
fake tasing himself.
I got to get a pumpkin too for here.
It was a bat.
I got a baseball bat.
Oh my God. All right, you guys keep
We're
shopping.
not
gonna
giving
take
him
a
the
commercial
baseball bat.
break.
Henry Aaron.
Let's see what you bring back. Henry Aaron. Is that Hank Aaron?
Yeah. Hank Henry.
I know. I totally did a dawn on you guys. I said, let's go, let's go. And then I said, we
And you
can't go.
do that. And you do that constantly. You go,
There are things I
we're going
want
to do that, and
but
then we don't go.
I can't get it all done and do what we got to do.
Very, very unhappy.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, more on this Fun Friday, 888-994-4995, Studio A. We should actually do a drink of the weekend. Maybe a, I don't know, tequila sunrise? It's too late
You
or
gonna
it's
do
too
that
early?
now?
We'll be right back. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
We'll see.
That's funny.
When it comes to investigative services, you can't settle for inattentive or irresponsible services. PI Network of Florida is a firm that you can rely on for actionable insight for personal or professional matters. From surveillance and insurance claims to background checks and identity theft, the investigative services are extensive. With over 30 years experience and 2 decades of serving the community, PI Network of Florida is trustworthy and reliable. Call today at 786-768-4394. Trust your gut. Trust PI Network of Florida.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, Or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
If your family is suffering from inflation and high costs caused by Lois Frankel's reckless policies, Republican Dan Franzese is clearly your best choice for Congress. Dan is a successful businessman who understands finance and economics. He's not a politician. Dan grew up blue collar and knows how tough inflation is on working families. Dan Franzese will go to Washington and fight the liberals who are killing us with inflation. Dan Franzese for Congress.
I'm Dan Franzese, and I approve this message.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
I'm excited that we have a new show that we're working with, More Music on Mondays with Mia. And actually, we're going to play you a little clip of last week's show where we had some great networking. Are they going to bring in more networking this Monday?
Yes.
Some great networking. I believe even Steinway Piano might be coming in because Mia is a virtuoso.
Steinway will be here.
Concert pianist, and she's going to be playing at Township in Coconut Creek, November, around the
20th?
November 20th. So it's going to be a great concert, so take a quick peek, sneak peek.
Is it ready?
At Mondays with Mia. have to bring Garcia in on Monday night.
Garcia, need more Garcia, more Garcia. Like, we need more cowboys.
Isn't she incredible? See, that to me is such talent. To know you are great at something like that is amazing.
And she's going to get better, and she gets better and better every week. Saw her one time, and it says, we got to go in that direction.
That is
CC, the same thing. JT, JC.
All
Who
of
else?
them.
All of them. I mean, this is a whole cluster of talent. And we're trying in our little space of goodness in here, trying to get it out there. It isn't easy to manipulate all the different aspects to get that music going.
You know, and last night on the editor's desk, Lynn came into studio and he said last night was just unbelievable. The way all these parts went into alignment. What did you like most about it, Lynn? Because you can't describe it if you weren't here.
It was just such a combination of, first our guest lives in Denmark, and he was in the States for a couple weeks, so made a perfect opportunity to actually have him on the show. He's been a client of mine since January, and so especially it's always nice when you meet international clients, and then just everything with the show, with meeting two people that had an interest in writing books or publishing or both, and you know, they're just, I don't know how to explain it, but there are just some days here where it just all feels like magic. When you walk in, and you know, Sally and Steve were here last night, so I got to meet Sally or Steve, and Sally and Louise had not met, and so they got to meet, and it was just such a beautiful coming together of all these different people, and it all worked, and we had a lot of fun. And Sally and I were talking earlier about it's almost like this place has some kind of antenna on the roof that just draws people here.
Calling all angels, right?
Yes.
We send out our own bat signal.
It's probably going to go in the book because we were discussing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, there's a bat signal. We've got like the angel signal.
Now, you had a whole bunch of people in here from different parts of everywhere, right? People that did different things, and it comes together, and it sort of changes.
It always comes together in here.
It always changes the feel in here. Like, I served some coffee, and I was late to go to the radio station because sometimes you just don't want to go. And then everybody has a different story, and the uniqueness about the place is that they let it out, and they talk and they say. We had some great shows last week with the ladies that were sitting here, and they told us one of them changed her name because of her calling, which is amazing. It just goes to show you never know what's going to show up here.
But it's different. We're not a typical TV station where you go in, you report your news, and you go. To me, it's more magical, it's more networking, it's more synergistic of the souls and people that come in here. Then you come in, you do a show, and you leave. If you come in and do a show and you leave, then you miss the good parts of what this studio is about.
Yeah, it's a community.
I absolutely feel the same. I mean, I don't prepare at all for what I do, but I feel pretty confident that I'm going to be okay because you guys are here. I have your energy. And when I finish the show, I love to stay on your show as we're doing now. I came in here for a completely different reason, to meet Lynn to do the book and talk about it. But I said, how can we not come in now? It's wonderful. For me, I love it. I love it. And I know that you feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we love having you guys here, and it totally changes it. And Lynn, you and Louise, your show gets better and better. And to see a full audience here last night was incredible. And you do your 30 minutes, and then everyone stayed to network, which I thought was fantastic, because that is why this whole theater, as Freddie says, was built for people.
Yeah, it's a, it's everything is always a work in progress, but we've been really excited about, we're coming to the end of our third month. And number one, it seems like it's gone by so fast, but there's still so much more to look forward to because it keep new ideas and new guests and new everything. Everything is renewed like every week.
We love having you.
It's interesting because Kenny Love is in the studio right over there, Kenny, right in that blue chair.
Garcia, can you just switch the camera over?
Let's do a two-shot.
Kenny Love is in the house.
Kenny's in the house, and it's interesting because Kenny does. That's okay. Kenny doesn't know this, but they were talking about him today. People are getting more and more aware of the things that is going on in studio. So Kenny's one of the things that happens here on Friday afternoon. They all ask me about the guy with the red suit. And he's the only guy, Kenny, make sure you have a mic. Kenny's the only guy that I know with a red suit. And Kenny, today we dedicated today's morning show and the afternoon show to smile and gratefulness. You got to get some. Because the weekend is here. People get a little bit loose on the weekends. You don't really know what you're going to get on Monday. But your show is a good way to end the programming we do in studio on a Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock. And I invite people to come. You know, we have to do a better job. Because on Mondays, this place gets packed. And what happens is people have shows, and then they think it becomes a library. And they don't want to talk. And we have to teach our hosts that it's okay if there's noise going on around them. Because they're talking about your show. So they'll go over there, they'll go over there, they'll go over there, they'll go back there, and then they leave and they don't stay. And you should stay. You should stay and enjoy the couple of hours. So you and I got to do a better job. It's really on me because I end up going to the radio station. But Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to be here. And I'm going to tell people to stay. Maybe have a mic so they can ask questions to the host, which is my next move. Get people involved again. Let people feel and hear their stories. And then I got this ever since I met you. I've been listening to things coming at me. And I think that the secret to all this is to let people be part of what you're presenting. What do you think, Kenny?
Great, Freddie. I think to even have a studio audience, we've discussed to ask questions, spread love, go around. You know, I think we since COVID's not really around the way it was, I think that would be great. So, Freddie, I just want to tell you how much I love you, brother. Freddie and I have been exchanging I love yous every morning. Love you, brother. I have a new brother, soul brother, and Dawn is my soul sister. And Freddie, you've been like a different person, and you've made my day every morning. I'm so happy. Freddie sends me an I love you. I send you an I love you back.
Every morning. Every morning I do it, right?
Yeah, every morning we do it together, and we're brothers. Because you lost your brother, and I don't have a brother. And I never knew that story. So it's been, I'm going to start getting emotional. It's really been beautiful.
Well, you know, it's funny, Kenny, because I've also gotten into the habit now that I'm doing different memes. Is that the word?
Okay.
Some morning memes and funnies and stuff like that on different platforms that we have. And the reason that I'm doing it is exactly the conversation we had last Friday. You can never feel alone. You can't do that, not on my watch. You come in here, and we've been doing this all week. Yes? In the back? In our new office back there? All week. You're not alone. You come in here, we will figure it out. I can't tell you I'm going to have all the answers, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you some choices. Because the people that I have sitting in that white sofa, they're giving me choices. They're teaching me more about me. This lady over here, she don't take no credit, but everything you see around us was built with her fingerprints. And the man sitting with the red suit really sums it all up. Because it ain't hard to tell somebody I love you, and he's not doing it in any other connotation except to say human beings got to get together, and they got to sort of be on the same page. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing more, nothing less. So you, like I told you last week, you aren't alone. I'll keep doing that. I have no problem doing that. It's been a wacky couple of weeks, couple of months in here. It's just nuts.
You know, people come in here and they don't think I guess they forget we're people. You and I are people, and we can read a room. So we know what kind of mood our hosts are in when they walk in the door. They may not think we know, but we know 100%. And it's raining again. And there are times that we don't say anything because before you go on air, we don't want hosts to get emotional or have this whole long conversation. But yeah, last week Freddie and I looked at each other and said, something's going on. And sure enough, he had a conversation with you. And because normally people get emotional and their makeup starts running and the ladies go, I can't talk about this now. But that whole our new back office by the microwave, people
gives
have
you a
been coming in
chance to settle
all week
down,
long.
as
They
they
sit
say.
there and then they cry. It's like a therapy session back there.
It's not easy. Things aren't easy right now. We know people are hurting. We get it. We do understand it. But you're gonna have to push forward, because if you stop, you're gonna drown. You got to keep finding different ways. You know, Kenny invites a lot of people that we know on his show, and they talk about the different things that are going on in there. Just be you. Give you a chance. You know, your daughter's having a great day today. Give yourself a chance.
You had a great show lined up today with Renee Stern.
Oh, it's an incredible show. So I'm going to be loving her dog, Presley, who just passed. I'm going to get emotional. And he's the love of her life for like 16 years. You know, her love companion, her fur baby. And she lost him. It's like losing
A piece of you,
a
sure.
piece of you, exactly, like a human being. It's a little human being, and we're gonna love him. And I love him. I loved when he was around, and his name is Presley, which is gonna be a lot of fun because we're gonna be playing a lot of Elvis Presley music, and we're gonna really let it rock. But it's really, you know, saying I love you, love you, love you. And you know, when I walked in last week, and you saw it on me, and then I let you know what was going on with me. Freddie, you let me know what was going on with you. We listened to each other. I found out about your brother, and now I have a soul brother. We have soul brothers, you and me. So what was it like for you to say I love you to me every morning and get I love you back?
The first day I says, wait a minute, I got to tell Kenny I love him. Because it was 6 o'clock, and I had promised him that I would do it early in the morning. And for some reason this week I've been getting up late because we've been here long hours. It makes the day different. It changes how you approach your day. And I've been going through some other stuff recently until this week, until the guests that we had this week, until talking. And I did a show with Sally on Tuesday that I didn't know I was doing. And we ended up doing a show, which you guys check out Sally's show on Monday at 3?
Yep.
At 3 o'clock, check this out.
Freddie's coffee is a little strong.
Yeah, I just saw. I didn't want to interrupt you. I just saw that he wrote that.
But-
Steve couldn't handle your coffee.
Steve, that's all right. I'll water it down for you.
It was
this
nice.
week that brought me to the conclusion of today. You know, grab a smile and some gratitude,
Here, let him have this mic.
and don't sweat the small stuff.
Here, Kenny.
And that's an important
I'm
aspect.
giving Kenny 5.
Important aspect of everything that we do. And again, you don't have all the answers, but if you come here, you're going to be given choices. I think that's important, always to have a choice.
After my show last week, you know, we had a few people that came in,
Right.
and then
Great.
I went to dinner with them. Afterwards, Mindy's a good friend, and also Rose, but they're also going to come back this Monday. So the more people that we bring in, then they get to tell more people. So I'm trying to do that with my show. Well, because once they're here, they feel so great here in the studio. So that's what I'm trying to do, to bring people in. They've got to come in to experience it. Well, when they've experienced it, they want to come back.
It was
And that's
great.
what's
If people
happening.
open up to you on that show, I couldn't believe what people say on TV.
Right.
Their faces weren't blocked out. No one had their back. It was full on conversation, asking you questions about tough topics.
Yes, I know. I mean, I couldn't actually see the girl that was sitting here. She was asking some unbelievable questions, but in order for me to, because I couldn't see her, I wanted her to speak up a little bit. But it was amazing how that all, because I have no idea what way it's going to go either. I just rely on what I hear when I get the question, and I'll give the answer. But they loved it, and we should have more on Monday again. Anybody that's listening, please come in with your
I think
questions.
Bree said that she's going to start doing her show on Monday with kids from FAU.
Okay.
Because they were so moved by what you were doing on that day. So we'll see, you know. But again, there's no cover charge, Lori. Lori
It's
says
a magical cafe.
Thank you.
and
But people, they were asking you the tough questions.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kenny always brings up a good point that everyone's going through something. You never know. And to see these ladies, I don't know who was talking about the addiction, one of them, this love of her life is suffering from addiction issues.
Yes.
And on the outside, everyone's life looks amazing, right? On social media, everything is perfect. but no one actually ever digs deep. And Kenny, that's one of the great things you do on your show. Some people can't handle the truth, and like last week, she couldn't handle it. It's hard to look truth in the face all the time.
It is. But you know, you got choice. If you can't handle it, either you learn to handle it or you don't. But don't ever say you don't have a choice in the game. You know, nobody here is forcing you. Everybody invites you. You're more than happy to come, talk, learn, open your mind. Maybe change is good. Maybe a little bit of change goes a long way. I mean, I never met a guy dressed like this. And he's not shy to tell you the truth. He'll tell you, I love you. And he has no problem with doing that. Other people may have problems with that because they ain't never been loved before.
Do you think change is good, Kenny?
So I don't call it change. I call it transformation, because change is like fixing something.
Okay.
Okay, transformation is like a whole new realm of possibility. It's like a whole new paradigm. So when I say I love you to someone, like Freddie and I, we said I love you to each other this week, the whole world was transformed. You were transformed, I was transformed. I got to tell you, I've been watching the world was transformed. And the other thing I want to talk about with addiction, we all have addictions. We're human beings. We're all sinners. We're human beings. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's what love is all about. That's why I say I love you to everybody. We're all the same. We all have blood. We're all human beings. We all have addictions. Love is no judgment. So it's okay. It's okay to have an addiction. It's okay to be a sinner. It's okay. We all are. That's what love is all about.
There's
Just
no
be
judgment.
human. Just be human and go and be yourself. That's the power of love. The power, it's freedom. Pure freedom. I mean, I don't know how free you felt saying I love you back and forth today, you know, and every day, Freddie. What was it like for you?
It opens up, what is it, your third eye? It opens up the ability that, you know, you can actually do something that I set out to do. And I wanted to show you that I could do that. It's not, you see, in my world, there's so many things going on at one time. Not that it goes on 1, 2, 3. It goes on 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 2, and it goes like that. That it isn't that I don't want to do things. It's just that I run out of time. You know, I think on my gravestone it's going to say he ran out of time because you run out of time. It isn't that I don't want to. I know that Katie doesn't believe me, but I am a happy, stress-free zone. I may act a different way for different reasons, but telling you I love you was enhancing me to be the person that I know that I am, just out loud.
Well, next week you're going to get to meet a sister.
I'm so excited to meet your sister.
Don't
Give
say
her
that to your
roses,
meter.
give her jewelry, say I love you,
Don't
and
say
love
that
you,
to your
love you,
meter.
love you. To your sister, what's her name?
Miriam, Mimi.
Mimi. I'm going to love Mimi. Now, is she older or younger than you?
She's the oldest. She's the older. She's the middle. I'm the youngest. And my brother, may he rest in peace, was the older.
And how old is she?
Mimi's got to be 60 plus.
Good answer.
I don't know. She
Right.
doesn't tell me. We don't
So
do
you
that.
don't know Mimi's age, so you really don't know her.
Oh, no, I know my sister.
But you don't know her age.
It was never a thing with us, with
Right.
age. I didn't know my
But
mother's.
you're the baby.
I'm the baby. I didn't know my mother's age until she died. They gave me the death certificate. I
Right.
didn't know. My father's the same thing. In our household, we never looked at numbers that way. We used to look at each other differently. And
But your older brother, you got to fight into a fight, said F you to each other,
Yeah.
and then he passed. You never had a chance to apologize.
never.
And that
I
was-
live with that every day.
Yeah, but now you can forgive, not forget, and let go.
Well, it isn't me forgiving. It's that I never got the opportunity to talk to him and talk it out and things of that nature. And it's just a lot of weight, you know. It's a lot of weight. That's why I tell people, if you got siblings, if you got a mom, you got a dad, you got a brother, you got a sister, you know, every day, your kids, just tell them you love them. You know, give them a hug. Because when they're not around anymore, man, there ain't no pain to fill that void, no matter how much you try. And with Harry, you know, until I see him again, and I'll apologize to him, and I'm sure he'll apologize to me, and we go from there. But it's been a while. It's been over 20 years.
How about apologizing to him right now?
I'd rather not. I'd rather not. But that's
Okay.
cool.
All right, so
Okay, well, I love you, Freddie, and
Love
I
you
love
too,
you, love
Kenny.
you,
what's
love you
up,
so
Kenny?
much,
Josh
Freddie.
says they're out on the road.
What's up, Kenny?
What's up, Kenny?
I love you, Joshua. I love you, Josh. Josh Love.
All right, we'll tune into the Florida Love Show today at 3 o'clock. You can tune into Call Me Zena on Monday at 3, or actually coming into the studio. Sally works best when you ask questions. Come in person, write in, or call in. Studio number is always the same. And the editor's desk is on Thursday at 5:30 with Lynn Everard and Louise Gomez. And if you have a book inside of you, contact Lynn, because it seems to be what's going on. Change, transformation is inevitable.
Get
It's
your book
how
out.
we embrace it.
Yeah.
And how we learn from it.
Get your book out.
Get your book on. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other. Enjoy the beautiful Florida weather here this weekend. And we'll see you Monday, 9 a.m. drive time.
Love you.
Don't be
Bye-bye.
late.
Love you, love you.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.